What's up and what's going on, y'all? This is Al coming in with another one and making my way home. Man, I just passed up the gas station and 372 just for regular. Ain't no telling what it really is if you're talking about premium, right? If it's 372, I'm thinking it's probably for something for premium. But anyway, why am I here? I'm here because basically it's on the same level that I used to be on when it came to doing these deliveries. We're talking about DoorDash, Gig, Uber Eats, Grubhub, you know, places that you gotta go out and then try to get orders from these restaurants. And I gotta tell you, man, the people that really should be only doing the gig delivery, and this is for anybody who sees this that is thinking about coming in. If you're not coming in for reasons in your area where you're doing this just to make a little bit of extra money on the side, me myself, I play poker. That's how I really make my money on the side. I'm a retiree, but I used to be in the gig game, and when the gig was good, I could bust out anywhere between 250. The way times were after 2021 up to 2025, the number just got lower and lower. So, you know, on a weekly thing, I could probably bust out after I got done taking care of gas and other things that could come up when you're doing this game, probably about 250 a week. That's just honest earn for myself, right? The rest of it, when you talk about chopping it up for gas and all that kind of stuff that comes along with it, it pretty much, you know, goes back into that car. But I always felt, and I was saying this from the beginning, even when I came in this in 2021, I never felt that being a gig delivery driver was going to be something that, if I didn't have what I have now, that I would have jumped in here full throttle. It would have always been just a side hustle because there's nothing with it, right? Other than you making some money, other than that, you have to pay back everything after it's all said and done. There's nothing from the company except orders. That's it. They don't have no incentives. You might be able to invest with them if you got it like that. You might be able to, you know, put your money in investments or whatever with them. But I'm talking about people who coming in and they have to rely on the gig game to take care of their responsibilities. That's who I'm talking to. This is who I'm relating this to. If you're doing this as a side hustle, then that is what is good about the gig game. Actually, side hustle, go out and make a couple of dollars, birthdays coming up, somebody wants something, and you may feel that, hey, I go out here and do some runs, I know how to get that money, and I go out here and get a couple of runs under my belt, and I can take care of that, case closed. But when you're talking about electricity, water, food, gas, maintenance, wear and tear on your vehicle, wear and tear on you, then that is when you have to look at other options, in my opinion. You just have to see other options. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself, if you can go out here and do 12 hours making deliveries behind the wheel of your car and really have nothing to show for it at the end of the day because you turned away so many runs. Nobody wants to drive for 12 hours. It's like driving across states when you think about how much time you actually putting in, right? If you drive 12 hours, and I don't mean you driving 12 hours straight, it just means you working 12 hours. But if you're working 12 hours, that almost means that you driving across states. If you got on the road and said you want to drive, like if I want to drive from here and say, let me go up to somewhere like Dallas, Oklahoma, or something like that, it would take me almost 6, 7, maybe 8 hours to get up there. So put that in that same category as when you're doing these deliveries. But what I'm going back to when I say if you can do 12 hours of deliveries, then why can't you put that same 12 hours into studying and working towards something like a job that you need, like electricians. I just paid somebody not too long ago, I told this story before, and I needed some mounts because of my garage, and I needed to get those safety mounts so I could let my garage up and down. Without them, I have to do everything manual. So basically, I called this company who I work with. Whenever I got something going on with my garage doors, if something happens, I call them. I got them on speed dial in my truck. And in my phone, I mean. And I called them, and they came and they did it because I don't have them. They got them. These are those sensors that you put down by the floor. I paid them $200. They was in and out of there. They brought two guys. One took the left, one took the right. And the only thing they did was cut the wires, unscrew the old sensors, and put in new sensors. And when it was all said and done, I paid them $200 for that. Plus they went a little extra and they did some stuff around on my garage for some maintenance that they noticed, and they just threw it in there because they know me as a customer. So they hooked me up and took care of that. But my whole point is trades. If you're not college material, if you don't have that gift to be able to get into sports or anything like that, then there's nothing wrong with adapting to learn a trade. You will come out ahead. I mean, I did military, man, and I was in the booms, cranes, driving boats, rig and hatch captain, we called them. I refueled ships, the whole nine. And when I got out, I didn't have to do any of that stuff because, you know, they took care of us when we get out the military. It happens. And that is how I fell into my lap. So it's a blessing. But at the same time, I have all that type of stuff under my belt. If I ever decided that I wanted to go back into the workforce, I could have done that in my early stage of life when I was first retired. I'm older now, I'm 60 years old. But the delivery game is mainly for side hustle money, retirees such as myself. I think people that have jobs and maybe the job isn't giving them all the grace that they want. So there's nothing wrong with on your way home turning on the apps, and if you know your area pays pretty good, then get in that delivery game and make some deliveries, right? To make up those bills that you may be losing and things like that. That is when it makes sense. When you use this to make up different matters of something that happens, you pay your bills, go out. You know, if you are concentrating on your area and you really get good at it where you understand who's who in the game, you can make some good money when you wind up seeing that you got customers that are repetition, right? They just keep repeating. They're repetitive customers. You're always making deliveries to them. You can always count on them, and they pay well. I'm not talking about customers that's paying you nothing. I'm talking about the ones that you know are paying you well to make those deliveries. Those are good clients to have. And if you're in the right place at the right time, where you got it down, taking notes, and you marking who's who. Like I remember back in my days, I knew certain customers. If I go to certain restaurants, I could almost guarantee that they were going to call, right, and have something delivered, and I would be the one to either get it because either somebody else or I get it, because I would always post up. I didn't drive around. I was mainly a post person when it came to making these deliveries. I didn't believe in driving around town and then picking up deliveries as I drive around. I would go sit in the parking lot and I would just stand by and wait. I was in a good area to do that. So the runs came in and I would be like 2-3 minutes away from some of these restaurants. Some of them I just got out of my car and walked straight to them and picked them up. But you have customers that do repeat when they're doing orders during the week, especially on the weekend. Some customers are just, they were just stuck on the apps, and you can always make good with those customers, and they pay well. So, you know, that is what I always feel should actually be in this game. That's just my opinion. I know some of you guys, the young ladies, are still doing this on the regular. You have all these apps under your belt. But just think about how much energy you can save while you're young and cut the middleman out. Get yourself in the trade, get some stuff under your belt, plumbers, electricians, cleaners, people that open up their own cleaning shop. Those are things that people can do. I know people that do that. I've done it myself. As far as side hustles, I've never, besides the apps, and I think a newspaper company back when I was living in Maryland that I actually worked for. Other than that, I always would go get cards made, and I would just set up my own side hustle business. I mean, it's so easy. You get cards or put yourself in some kind of paper around in your area. Go talk to the people that run it on little small papers. You'd be surprised how many people pick up those newspapers. You'll see them in gas stations. You'll see them in little stores, and you live in that type of community where somebody has a paper and they have openings where you can put what you do in there. You'll be amazed how many people will call you. The other thing that happens is if you get decals made and put them on your vehicle, right? If you want to just say, hey, pay somebody to put some stencils or whatever on your windshield and put a phone number on it, tell them what you do, you'll be surprised how much business you'll get when you stop at a light, right? Or just have your car posted somewhere and somebody sees it, and next thing you know, they give me your call and they say, hey man, I saw your car and I saw a phone number, you got something on there I like that I need to get done. When can we set up and you come by and look at it? That is when I used to do detailing. So that is why I say you can make a lot of other things happen for yourself when it comes to side hustle. It doesn't have to be about the gig game 100%. And if you want to keep it, do that. My thing is just always make sure that you have other options, because the way the gig game is now, it is hard to actually know what your day is going to be like when you leave. In 2021, no brainer. 2021, drivers made serious cash, right? We were making money. Nobody concentrated on what they thought they were going to make that day. It was always a smile. You always seen the videos of people posting up what they made, right? 4,000, 3,000 here. That money was being made for real. There was no what you call that, when they clickbait you and all that. Those stories were true. We were seeing that type of money. But as the days and years progress, that is when you start seeing how far that the game had changed, right? How much the game had changed. For the apps, they're making money. They're going to make their money because they got so many drivers. No matter what, they're going to make their money. They're going to make their rich money. But when it comes to drivers, that doesn't happen. So basically, you are left holding the bag, and if something does happen to you physically, or something happens to your car, or anything like that, there is no outlet. You can't call them. There's nothing you can do. So it's a risk. It's a gamble. But my whole thing is, I still see people doing this in 2026. And when I check the numbers, especially when I'm checking gas, man, that's just a drop in the bucket. What that is. As far as gas goes, that's just a drop in the bucket. But when you're talking about tires and you're talking about batteries, alternators, anything that happens with your vehicle, you're going to be responsible for it. And when that happens, you know, you're going to have to be ready to go. And if you ain't got the money set to the side, which you probably won't have, because a lot of drivers don't make enough money to be able to handle those affairs. So, you know, it's just my opinion. Just throwing it out there for anybody who sees the video. And if you're thinking, I can move around a little bit. If you're thinking about getting in this and you see this video, right, I'm letting you know right now that once upon a time, this was something good to be in. But in 2026, not so much now. It's almost like you have to really get lucky and hope that you get the runs that we used to get back in 21, 22, things like that. It just don't happen. So, I mean, it's busy work. That's mainly what it turns into, just a lot of busy work. So, just saying, in the gig delivery game, that even if you have that type of market, right, because some drivers will say, hey, I'm in a good market and it works for me. But like I said, the most people that actually can do this and benefit from it are retirees. I think content creators, right? Because they came in this game a long time ago, so there's still some good content creators out there. They're still making good content, and they got a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers. So they're making thousands of dollars a month. But in the delivery side of the house, they're probably not seeing all that money that they used to see, right? But they can still talk the talk and get you interested in how their day was by telling you stories, and not a knock even against them. That is what they're supposed to do. They got to keep it going because that is how they came in. So I would say they benefit from it, but definitely a person like myself, retirees, somebody that has a job, they can do this. But for somebody that's trying to come in and say, hey, I just want to do deliveries and that's all I'm going to do, well, you know, good luck with that, because it's not all that easy as it used to be. The money just doesn't come in. The orders come in, but the money is not there to show. So with that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know what's going on with you. If you're still doing the gig game back in 21 and what you're doing now. Share your thoughts. With that said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Peace.